Hi guys, welcome to a new green. If this is the first time you're watching my video, you're highly welcome, and if you've been watching my videos, thank you so much. Today I'll be showing you how I made bread for the second time in my life. Yes, I had some beans in my fridge and I was just wondering, how do I make my husband to eat this beans? So I thought of making fresh bread, and I've never done it before. Well, this was the second time in my life that I was making bread, and I had a few ingredients and I thought, oh, okay, why not? Let's make bread. Now this is in no way a recipe. This was just me documenting what I did to make my bread. I had other video ideas, but I just thought, let's be spontaneous today and just go with the flow. So the first thing I did was to measure out 1 cup of warm water. So the water has to be warm in the sense that you can stick your finger into it and it will not hurt you. And then I added 1 tablespoon of yeast to that and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Then I mixed it together for just a bit and I set it aside for about 10 minutes to proof. This is to activate the yeast. And then because we'll be kneading the dough and rolling and doing a lot of things on my work surface, I just decided to clean it or sanitize it with white vinegar. So I put out some white vinegar on my work surface and then I wiped it down with a clean cloth. That way I was comfortable with rolling my dough on that surface. And so in a bowl I measured out 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Yeah, that was what I had at home, all-purpose flour, so 3 cups. And then to 3 cups of flour I added 1 tablespoon, another tablespoon of sugar. And trust me guys, it wasn't even sweet at all. When the bread was done, I didn't even taste any sugar. So 1 tablespoon of sugar to 3 cups of flour. And then this is what the sugar and yeast mixture looks like after 10 minutes. You can see that it's foaming on the top. That's assurance that the yeast is active. So I added that to it. Then afterwards I added 2 tablespoons of mayo because I didn't have any eggs at home. Many recipes will tell you to add eggs, but I didn't have it, and I just googled, oh, what substitute can I use instead of eggs, and I found mayo. Okay, and I added mayo. So, and I also added 1 tablespoon of butter. So I measured out 1 tablespoon of butter and I melted it, and then I poured it into my mixture, and then I just mixed everything together for a while until everything was combined, and then I dumped it onto my work surface to knead. And yeah, you'll see that as we go. So before I started kneading my dough, I sprinkled a little flour on my work surface. That helped me to work the dough very well, and it also prevented sticking to the work surface. So let me tell you guys something. The reason like I said before, this is intended to be a spontaneous organic video. Like nothing was actually planned from the beginning. I had other video ideas, like I said, but I just decided to film myself making bread for the second time. The first time was a day before, and I just thought that, oh, you know what, instead of doing that other video idea, let me document how I made bread. And I didn't have some things in my pantry. So guys, let me tell you something again. Before I go to do groceries, I like to exhaust my pantry to the barest minimum, like to the extent that I know that okay, you can't keep going. And I feel like when you do that, or when I do that, it helps me to be creative, and I come up with different meals, different dishes that I didn't even know that I could make before. And yeah, so it was just like, okay, so you need bread, you have this, but you don't have that. And I wasn't even ready to go anywhere for any reason, not until later. So I just kind of said, okay, let me make something I've never made before with something that is not usual either. So there was no egg in this one, and there was no milk, because most recipes will say use milk, use bread. And yeah, so that was the reason I filmed this video in the first place. And yeah, so I'm just you guys, you can tell that I'm not even talking well right now. um yeah, I choose not to edit this out because I just want this to be as natural as possible with all my blabbing and everything. So after 10 minutes of kneading, this is what the dough looked like. And to proof it, I just kind of coated it with a little oil. So a little vegetable oil. I rub it on the dough, and then I put it in a container and set it aside to proof for about 1 hour. And yeah, that's how most recipes will tell you to proof your dough for 1 hour, and that's what I did. So kind of going in the flow or being spontaneous in the whole of this video, I want to share something with you guys from the Bible that has nothing to do with this video. Usually I like to go with something that, kind of gels with the video, but today we'll be reading from the book of Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 in the King James Version. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." This just tells me that God is the master script writer. He determines what happens in your life, especially if you're His. And it reminds me also of the story of how God delivered the Israelites from the Egyptians. um there were so many signs and so many plagues that was happening at that time, but Pharaoh's heart was hardened because God hardened his heart. He wanted the script to play out that way. And in the end, when God was ready, he released the Israelites. And this just, further buttresses the fact that God is the master script writer, and he has the best script for you, for your life to play out if you're on his side. So my question for you today is, are you on God's side, or are you sitting on the fence? Whatever side you are on, God does not force anything on you. He gives you free will to choose whatever you want, but it is better if you are on his side, because then you have an expected end to the movie of your life. So after 1 hour of proving, this is what my dough looked like, and I just kind of deflated the air from it and then transferred it to my work surface to get it ready for the second proving, and that second proving will take about 30 minutes. So to prepare for the second stage of proving, I divided into two. as you could see, the two sizes were not even equal, and you would see that when the bread was done too. So I cut it into two, and then I used my rolling pin to roll it. You can tell that I'm not an expert in bread making. So yeah, I rolled out both halves, and put it in the pan to proof for another 30 minutes, like I said earlier. So to ensure that my bread came out easily, I just sprayed it with some oil spray, and then I sprinkled a little flour in the pan, and afterwards I put the two halves of the dough that I had rolled out. I put them in the pan side by side and put it away for 30 minutes for the second proofing. So after the second stage of proofing for 30 minutes, this is what my bread looked like. And I just put it in the oven that I had set at 350 degrees centigrade, and baked for 20 minutes. And this is what I got after. It wasn't the best bread ever, but like I said, this recipe is not the normal one. I didn't use the usual ingredients, but I was pretty pleased with my second attempt of making bread, and my husband liked it. So yeah, like I said, this video was just supposed to be organic, not planned, nothing, you know, too yeah, nothing too, exactly, nothing too. And you can see that my bread is actually very soft. I liked it. It was good bread for homemade style, and it was perfect for the beans. And I also had some tea and brown sugar to go with it. Just a very relaxed evening. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you're not following me on Instagram and you'd like to, if you want to see my face and you want to get up to what I do, during the week, you can follow me on Instagram. There I share my real life experiences and all that good stuff. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a very lovely week ahead. Bye bye.